over the offseason, the Tampa Bay Lightning had to make some difficult decisions. Steven Stamkos is going to leave the team and he's going to join the Nashville Predators, but don't worry because they are going to be picking up Jake Guentzel in free agency. He's going to be a nice young player for the team. Him, Brainpoint, Kucherov on that top line, it's going to be something special here in Tampa. When it comes to the defense, they're going to be trading Mikhail Sergachev away, but they are getting a young JJ Moser. Victor Hedman's also going to be getting the big extension here, and on top of that, they're also going to be picking up another piece for the defense, and that's going to be Ryan McDonagh. So the Tampa Bay Lightning have seen a ton of changes to their team, and it's time for me to step in and rebuild this team for the next 10 years. But in honor of all the moves the Tampa Bay Lightning made over the offseason and all the trades they made, I'm not going to be making any trades or any re-signings at the beginning of the season. The first time I'm allowed to make any trades is going to be at the deadline here. So it's immediately sim up to the trade deadline, and then I'm going to start cooking with this Tampa Bay Lightning roster. And of course, while we simulate up to the trade deadline here, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 70k by the end of the month. So we've reached the trade deadline in season number 1, and I'm going to be honest, things are going way smoother than I thought. 4th in the entire league, a 36-20-8 record. Like, I know the Tampa Bay Lightning have a lot of great pieces on their team, but I just thought we weren't going to be good enough. Like, look at the defense, 3.14 goals allowed per game. Yeah, we can't be doing that. We got to tighten up that defense. But given everything, 4th in the entire league at the trade deadline, I'm definitely going to take it. Jake Guentzel's got 82 points. Kucherov's got 80. Brainpoint's got 79. The main issue I do have is when you move down to the second line of Cam Atkinson, Brandon Hagel, and Nick Paul. Yeah, minus 13, minus 18, minus 16. That's not good no matter how you spin it. Clearly, we have to make some changes to the team here. Vasilevsky, 32 wins, 6 shots, a 912, and a 287. You're doing great in between the pipes right now, but clearly the second line has to be adjusted. So with the way things are set up right now, Anthony Cirelli's playing bottom 6 minutes, and there's no reason that we should be paying this man $6.1 million to play bottom 6 minutes. So he's going to be traded away along with Ryan McDonagh. We're bringing in Ty Dellandrea and Zetterlund. We're going to be freeing up a ton of money in a move like this, and then after making this move, we're going to trade for a new defenseman. So I'm going to send that package over. They're willing to say yes. Can I get some draft compensation back? Like, if I can pick up a 2nd and 4th rounder in this deal, that would be amazing. They're going to be saying no to that. Can I at least get a 4th round pick? It looks like we're going to be getting a 4th. So we might have made one deal there, but we're not done. We got to make a couple more. All right, so we trade Ryan McDonagh away, but we still need to find a replacement, and that's going to be Brandon Carlo. If you know, you know. Brandon Carlo, an absolute legend, an offensive beast. He might be a defensive defenseman, but this man knows how to spark offense. So Brandon Carlo, you're going to be brought to the team here, a 3rd and 2 4th round picks along with a young player. I doubt this is going to be enough. Of course it's not. Do I want to throw a 2nd round pick in this deal? Like, I don't want to trade a ton of our picks here, but you know what, Brandon Carlo, you're going to be an important piece of this team. I'm going to give up that 2nd rounder. And then to finish things up at the trade deadline here, I'm willing to trade 2 7th round picks over to the Anaheim Ducks. We bring in Robbie Fabry for this one season. Ideally, we can actually bring this man back for like $2 million or something, but if we can only keep him around for the one season, it's worth 2 7ths. So we're going to see what the second line looks like now. Ty Dellandrea, Zetterlund, and Brandon Hagel are going to be holding it down. They're getting a +1 boost. The third line is going to be Nick Paul, Cam Atkinson, Robbie Fabry. I'm a bit concerned about that third line, but you know what? We're getting some better players here. They're going to play better defensively. We'll see what happens. When it comes to the defense, Brandon Carlo, I want you playing on that first pairing alongside Victor Hedman, getting a +1 boost. Meanwhile, Chernak and JJ Moser, they're getting a +2 boost on the second pairing. So everything about this team should be better moving into the second half of the season. We're 4th in the entire league right now, so you know what? Things are looking good. Let's just hope we can keep on seeing that type of success. Also, we might as well make sure that we lock down all these important pieces long term. So Zetterlund, I'll give you a 6-year deal at $4.5 million. I think that's pretty fair for you. You're going to turn into a beast for us. So yeah, I'm going to give you that contract right there. Cam Atkinson, you can walk because you're 35 years old. Robbie Fabry, how much are you looking for? $2.6 million. How about we do a 5-year deal at 2.5? Actually, I don't want to do 5 years. How about we do 3 years at 2.4 million? I can live with paying you till you're 32 years old. I don't want to pay you till you're 34 though. Perbix, I know for a fact I'm probably not going to be able to keep you around. 3.1 million for a third pairing guy. That's just not happening. So to finish out the season, the Tampa Bay Lightning are finishing 5th overall with a 45, 27, and 10 record. I'm a bit concerned because 45 wins definitely shouldn't be 5th in the entire league. OT losses are saving us here, but the Washington Capitals are 4th in the entire league. So yeah, what's really going on here? Like, the Washington Capitals definitely shouldn't be 4th in the entire league, but you know what? Jake Guentzel's looking great here, 109 points. Brainpoint's got 106. Kucherov 102. Meanwhile, when it comes to the second line, I'm a bit concerned. Zetterlund, what'd you do since joining the team here? You had 4 points in 18 games, -7. We are cooked heading into the postseason. Yeah, let's just get this over with quick. I know for a fact we're getting swept in the first round. Andre Vasilevsky, 39 wins here, 6 shots, a 909 a 291. Yeah, that is not what I want to see. Zetterlund, I just gave you a bag as well, and you put up 4 points in 18 games. We don't stand a chance. We have the Boston Bruins here, but you know what? The Boston Boston Bruins, they don't have Brandon Carlo. We do, and that's going to be the big difference here. So we need the Tampa Bay Lightning to lock in here. I need to be winning at least the first 2 games here. We're winning game 1, but we're going to be dropping game 2. We're responding in game 3, and what's game 4 going to be looking like? Another win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Are we really going to be moving on in 5 games here? Yes, we are. All right, I'll definitely take it. So we're moving on to the second round here, and instead of taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's the Ottawa Senators, because the Ottawa Senators are beating the Maple Leafs in the first round. It just never ends, does it? Also, the Washington Capitals lost in the first round, so did the New York Rangers. Weren't those 3 of the best teams in the league? So a lot of the top teams have already fallen in the postseason. If we can get past Ottawa, we'll actually have a pretty good shot. Never mind, we're down 3-1. Ain't no way we're losing in the second round to Ottawa. Now, the reason that we haven't been winning games is Nikita Kucherov got absolutely shut down so far by the Senators. We're moving into the third period here. Tampa's got to get the offense going, and that's exactly what's going to be happening. Brain point Kucherov, they're waking up. So Nikita Kucherov is woken up, and you know what? Tampa's not going to be looking back after that. Maybe they are, because we haven't scored a goal so far through the first 2 periods. We got to wake up and have a big third period, but that's just not going to be happening here. We're going to be falling 3-0. So the one thing I have to point out, Nikita Kucherov had 11 points in his first 5 games. That man had 5 goals and 6 assists against the Boston Bruins. He finished with 6 goals and 9 assists for 15 points. He had 4 points against the Senators, 1 goal, 3 assists. He completely fell off. So to finish off the playoffs here, we're going to see the Detroit Red Wings winning the Stanley Cup, taking down the Vancouver Canucks. This is pretty ironic. If you've been tuning into my puck drop videos, link in the description, you know when I did my blind rankings, I had the Detroit Red Wings #1. So it turns out I was right about that one. Also, when I say blind rankings, I mean completely blind rankings. I did not willingly put the Detroit Red Wings at #1. Nikita Kucherov, 15 points, Brain Point, 14, Jake Getzel, 11. Everyone else sucked. Wow, that is something. The only reason we got past the Boston Bruins, these 3 guys were on point. Everyone else was absolutely awful. So yeah, we clearly need to fix every single line that isn't the first line. Also, Vasilevsky, you did everything in your power to win. If our second line just could figure out how to score a goal, we probably would have won a Stanley Cup this season. Alright, so just taking a quick look at the draft here and the amazing scouting that we did here. Yeah, I'm not taking any risks here. We're trading all of our picks. So this is going to be our first trade. It's going to be a 3rd and 2 7th rounders over to the Arizona Coyotes. We're getting a future 2nd round pick from the Ottawa Senators. They're going to say no to that. So if I give you a 6th rounder as well, hopefully this is going to be enough to get the deal done, and it looks like it will be. So with our final deal, I'm hoping I can just do something as simple as this. The 119th overall over to the Boston Bruins, and we get a 4th rounder for next season. So we don't have too many guys here in the re-sign phase, but we're going to let all of them walk. Cam Atkinson, Perbix, and Anisimont. I don't really want to bring any of them back here. We have to go through a massive rebuild when it comes to anything except that first line. Jonas Johansson, you're also going to be leaving the team here. Hugo can take over. Alright, so we got through the re-sign phase and we moved on to next season, but now we have to give out some extensions here. JJ Moser, do I want to give you $5.3 million for the next 5 years? I'd keep you around for a majority of the rebuild here. Let's do 5.4 for the next 5. This might be a mistake, but you're young, 25 years old, 84 overall. You and Chernak on that second pairing is not the end of the world. But now it's time for us to make the big time moves. Everything outside the first line has to be changed. So when it comes to the first line, Braden Point, Kucherov, Jake Getzel, you're all sticking around. Everyone else, you might be traded. So as we know, we got to change things up here, and I think this is going to be the beginning of the change. It's going to be Zetterlund, Darren Radish, and a 4th round pick over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're bringing in Marchenko. Basically just signed a 5x5 here, 86 overall. He's going to be able to score some goals for the second line, and hopefully he can spark a bit of a change here. So we're going to keep on making changes, and the next one's going to be bringing Kirby Dach onto the team. Connor Sheary and 2 second round picks are going to be traded over. We need a playmaker for the second line, and Kirby Dach's going to be able to be that guy. I'm going to give up a 4th round pick as well, and then I think that should be enough. Never mind, they want that lucrative 7th round pick. The lucrative 7th round pick is once again going to be saving the day here. 2027, that's what you're getting. Alright, so through going through this massive rebuild here, Robbie Fabry have actually decided that we don't really need you on the team anymore, and what we really need is a playmaker for the bottom 6. So Peyton Krebs, you're going to be that guy. We're going 1 for 1 here. But I actually probably shouldn't have gone 1 for 1 here, because the Buffalo Sabres probably have a couple other guys I wouldn't mind trading for. So now we're circling back over to the Buffalo Sabres. I'm going to see if it's possible for us to get Kulich as well. Gergensen, a 4th and 6th round pick's not going to be enough. But if I throw a 7th into this deal, they're going to be saying yes. So this is going to be the package we send over. The Buffalo Sabres aren't saying yes to that. They want another 6th round pick. So I guess here's the 6th round pick for 2026, and we're getting this deal done. So we're going to make a couple moves here in free agency. And Knezhov, you're going to be one of them. It's going to be $2 million for the next 4 years. You're a great defensive defenseman. You always progress well in my simulations, so I wouldn't mind bringing you to the team here. Coughlin, you're basically asking for absolutely nothing here, so we can definitely do a deal. It's going to be $1.1 million for the next 3 years. That's going to be an absolute steal for an 80 overall. And then we just got to bring in some guys for the bottom 6 here, so whoever I can find that makes sense. Mason Appleton, that definitely makes sense. You're joining the team here. Like, Mason Appleton's one of of those guys you can sign, and then in 3 years he'll be up to an 86 overall, and it'll make no sense. So here's 2.2 for the next 4. Sam Steele, you can join the team and play some bottom 6 minutes, so how's 2 million for the next 3 sound? And then Tyson Forrester, how about you come here and play 1 season, 2.4 for 1 year. Now, although I gave out a couple multi-year deals, we just got to make sure that we can bring all the important pieces back. One of those being Kirby Dach. Do I want to do 5 years at this price? Like, that's going to be very expensive for us. We can do 6.5 for the next 5. But yeah, even that's going to be a bit expensive. Like Peyton Krebs, what are you going to be looking for? Yeah, we can definitely do this. 1.8 for the next 5. So ideally, the team you're looking at right now is going to be sticking around for a handful of years. Braden Point, Jake Getzel, Kucherov on the top line gain a +5 boost. Marchenko, Kirby Dach, Brendan Hagel on the second line gain a +2 boost. Peyton Krebs, Nick Paul, Mason Appleton on the third line gain a +2 boost. The fourth line is going to be changing over the next couple years, but this forward core is really good. When it comes to the defense, Victor Hedman, Brandon Carlo, Chernak, JJ Moser, like we have a lot of great pieces here. And then when it comes to goaltending, we still have Vasilevsky. We still should be competing. Like I feel like we solved the majority of the issues we had last season. I'm expecting big things this year. So the Tampa Bay Lightning are looking amazing at the trade deadline. We're 5th here, but I don't care about that. Look at the Edmonton Oilers, a 45-14-4 record. If we ever have to match up against this team in the postseason, it's going to be tough for us. 4.1 goals per game and then 2.43 allowed. Look at every other team in the league. Like Edmonton's just steps above the rest. Like the Edmonton Oilers are just significantly better than everyone else. But with the moves we made, we're looking pretty solid here. Braden Point 75 points, Nikita Kucherov 72, Jake Getzel 72 at the trade deadline. Marchenko's got 53, including 24 goals. Brandon Hagel's doing great. He's got 51 points, and Kirby Dach 41. But the most important part, the guys on the second line have a positive plus-minus, and that's what we're going for here. Yeah, the third line's a bit weak, but we can fix that up. When it comes to the goaltending, I am a bit concerned with Andrei Vasilevsky here. Like 29 wins, 0 shots, a 903 and a 319 is definitely not good numbers. So maybe we have to improve the defense a little bit here, maybe fix up the bottom 6, but it's pretty clear we got to make a couple moves here. Now I just realized it's another video where Stick on the Ice forgot to replace the Arizona Coyotes with the Utah Hockey Club. Why I never remembered to do this, I have no clue, but I can almost guarantee for 75% of my remaining videos, we're going to see the Arizona Coyotes, not the Utah Hockey Club, because I'm going to forget every single time. Alright, so we're going to make one trade here, and it's going to be for the third line. We're bringing in Frank Nazar. Now he's going to play some third line minutes for us, 13 goals and 21 assists so far. All we have to give up is Ty Dellandrea, a 5th and 3rd round pick. This is a no-brainer for us. They're going to be saying no. We're still going to get this deal done. Like maybe instead of doing a 3rd and 5th round pick, we just do a 2nd rounder. The 2nd rounder is going to have a lot more value, and that's going to allow us to get this deal done. Now I don't know what to say here. I really don't. Like, there is no excuse for this. The Tampa Bay Lightning, 15th in the entire league, missing the playoffs. A 41-34-7 record. We won, what, 6 games after the trade deadline? We went like 6-14 to finish out the year. We went something stupid like that. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't know what went wrong. Braden Point, 93 points. Kucherov, 91. Jake Getzel, 86. Frank Nazar, you killed this team. You single-handedly destroyed this team here. 7 points in 19 games, -8. You single-handedly destroyed this team. If I don't trade for you, none of this happens. I don't know if we need a new coach here. I don't know if we just need to fix up the bottom 6. I don't know what we need to do, but this can never happen again here. Vasilevsky, you were terrible this season. You had a 322. That's unacceptable. I don't care who the Stanley Cup champion is. It's the Edmonton Oilers. No surprise there. What happened? What happened to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the final 20 games? Like, this is ridiculous. We don't even own our 1st round pick, so we're not going to be getting a good pick here. Oh, never mind, we do. Okay, we're getting the 16th overall. That's not the end of the world here. But yeah, what happened to this team? How did we show so much promise through the first 60 games and then miss the playoffs? Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Now, with the 16th overall pick, I'm taking this guy right here. He was projected 14th, medium top 4 potential, 64 overall. Hopefully, he develops into a great player for us. This is honestly ridiculous how this team is looking so good. 5th in the entire league at the trade deadline. And then we missed the postseason. The rest of the draft here is looking absolutely cooked, so we're going to make some moves. You know what? This is actually our last pick in the draft, so let's see if we can get a mediumly potential player right here. 7th D, why am I not surprised? But I'm actually so fed up with the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. Like, how do we go from 5th in the entire league to 15th in a 20-game span? How are you guys that bad? All right, Tyson Forrester, you're now willing to sign a 2-way contract. Are you willing to accept that deal right there? I'm going to send that over. Now you don't want a 2-way deal? Bro, what are you talking about? Like, you're literally asking for a 2-way deal. I'm going to give you this. Are you going to be saying yes to this? So if I do 2 years on a 2-way contract, you say no. Nothing's making sense here. This man right here will give $800K for the next 2 years. Actually, let's make that a 3-year deal. I'll do $950K for 3 years. He's a 79 overall. He can probably jump into the lineup next season. When it comes to everyone else, they're all going to be walking. Except Hugo. Hugo, I'll give you an extension. What are you looking for? Let's do 3 years at $900K. I'm sorry, but the coach we have is an A overall. He has a 69% team fit. and you're telling me we're just losing a bunch of games here? Like, I just give up. We're probably going to be firing that coach and bringing a new one in. We're making some changes. All right, so I don't even know what we do here. Of course, Nikita Kucherov is sticking around. You want $11 million? I'll give you $11 million. Actually, no, I won't. How about we do $10 million? $10 million for the next 4 years. That's going to pay you till you're 37. Do I want to do that? Like, I'm so serious. I package up Nikita Kucherov and Frank Nazar. We can probably get Connor Bedard. We probably could get Connor Bedard. Hold on. Like, I was saying that half as a joke, but hear me out. Nikita Kucherov for Connor Bedard. At no point did I ever say this was going to be a realistic video, but hear me out here. Connor Bedard, I know you have a lot of trade value, but what is it going to cost? Like, Frank Nazar, I do not want you on this team anymore. Like, you screwed us so bad. But if I did something like this, they're going to say no to that, and I give you my first round pick. Like, hypothetically, could we get a guy like Connor Bedard? They're going to say no to that. I'll give you a first round pick as well. So if I do this, is that going to be enough for Connor Bedard? They're still going to say no to that. What if I give you 2 first round picks? Because I'll trade 2 first round picks for Connor Bedard. They're saying no to that. What if I give you a second as well? I mean, this is basically the most I can trade for Connor Bedard. Yeah, that's not happening. But Nikita Kucherov, you do have a lot of trade value. We're going to capitalize on that. Okay, when it comes to a deal like this, you guys just need to hear me out. So Nikita Kucherov, JJ Moser, Nick Paul, we get Rupe Hintz, so he's going to be Nikita Kucherov's replacement. Not going to be quite as good as we know. We're also getting Logan Stankoven in this deal, so the forward core is getting an upgrade. We're also going to be getting Thomas Harley in this deal, and that's going to be a great upgrade for the defense. Is this worth Nikita Kucherov, JJ Moser, Nick Paul? You better give me some draft picks. Like, Nikita Kucherov isn't getting any younger here. I think this is the move if we want to see success in the future. I don't know how I feel about that move yet, but we had to make it. Carlo, why are you not being loyal to Stick on the Ice? Like, you're a Stick on the Ice legend because of one video, and now you're asking for $6.3 million? I can't do that. You know I can't keep you on the team at that price, so you're going to be leaving here. Frank Nazar, honestly, I haven't decided with you. I'm going to give you one last opportunity on this team. Kulich, I'll sign you to a long-term deal. Never mind, no I won't. I tried to sign you to a long-term deal and you're looking for $4 million. Bro, you've barely played any games for us. You're getting 1 year. So after the massive collapse we just had and the poor defense that was played, a logical person would try to bring in a great defensive defenseman. But you know what Stick on the Ice isn't? A logical person. Carlo, a third and a second rounder, over to the LA Kings for Brandt Clark. Brandt Clark, welcome to the team here. We are getting this deal done. Here's another third round pick. Is this a stupid deal? Absolutely. But you know what? I care about offense, and Brandt Clark's going to bring offense here. He's going to keep on getting better. Under contract for the next 3 years at $4 million. Carlo, you're a Stick on the Ice legend, but I like Brandt Clark a bit better. So after reevaluating things, it doesn't make sense to keep Logan Stankoven on this team. So we're going to trade him over to the Florida Panthers. Lindell and Lusteranian, you're both going to be acquired here. They're going to be saying no to that package right here. This is actually going to be a pretty difficult deal to get done. All right, so I have a plan here with Logan Stankoven, and I've changed my mind. He doesn't really fit on this team. So I'm going to trade him over to the Philadelphia Flyers. I want to get Jordan Gavin, and I'd like to get Cam York. I don't think we're going to be able to get both of these guys, but if we can get one of them, then this is going to be a good deal. I'm going to have to trade a second round pick as well. Hopefully that's going to be enough. You know what? We're giving up our first round pick. We're going to get incredibly risky here, but we just have to do it. Let's just trade all of our picks for this upcoming season. 2027 is the year of no drafting. But the main reason I made that deal is because now we're going to flip those assets. Jordan Gavin and Cam York, both of you guys are going to be off to the Florida Panthers, and we're getting Lundell here. Lundell's going to be a great bottom six piece. It's only getting paid $4 million, so we're going to be saving a bunch of money in a deal like this. I'll include a third and fourth rounder. Hopefully that's going to be enough here. Yeah, I think we have to give up way too much. Like, we have no draft picks for the next couple years, but you know what? That's what it's going to cost. Lundell, welcome to the team. So the team that you see right here is the same team you're going to see at the end of the season. We're not going to have enough assets, and we don't have money to make more moves here. Braden Point, Rupe Hintz, Jake Getz on the first line. This is a very good first line, getting a +5 boost. Marchenko, Kirby Dach, Brandon Hagel. That's a great second line, getting a +2 boost. The bottom six is great here. 88 overall. Lundell's going to be leading the way. We should be in a good spot. The defense is great. No question about that. The goaltending is Andrei Vasilevsky. Do not choke after the trade deadline. Just close out the season. We're running it back with the same coach. It's a majority of the same team. There's no reason you should have missed the playoffs last season, and there's no reason you should miss the playoffs this season. Just close it out in the final 20 games. No words have to be said here, but I think you know what I'm getting at. New coach. We have no choice. So for a bit of context, the Tampa Bay Lightning was absolutely horrid through the first 40 games. We started the season 18-18-5, but here we are making the postseason, 12th in the entire league, a 43-33-6 record. So given what things were looking like through 40 games, we actually aren't looking that bad. But no, I don't know what it is here. For some reason, this team just can't perform. I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't really know what it is. Jake Getzel, 92 points, Brain points, 78, Rupe Hintz, 77, +6, +2, +7. There's no reason all these guys shouldn't be +30. Like 91 overall Jake Getzel, 94 overall Brain point, 91 overall Rupe Hintz. Two-way forward, playmaker, sniper. That's basically the perfect line you want. I don't know what it is about this team. Frank Nazar, you were a lot better this season, 53 points, but you were -5. Like, why are we so bad defensively? I know for a fact that Vasilevsky's numbers are going to be cooked. 37 wins here, 2 shots, and 899, a 318. I just haven't figured out what it is. Like, I feel like we have a good defensive core here. I feel like we have a great forward core that's very balanced. We have great scoring, and we got great defense, but the team just doesn't show up when it matters most. So I don't really know what it is. More than likely, it's the coach. Like, I'm putting all the blame on the coach right now. I guarantee you we can find an A+ coach that has a worse team fit and we'll win 50+ games. But you know what? We can't worry about that right now. We have to worry about the Ottawa Senators because that's who we're taking on the first round. So it's time for this team to lock in. What are we doing? Okay, we just lost 9-1. This series is over. This series is over before it started. Did I say 9-1? It was 9-3. But same difference. We're down 3-0. We won game number 4. But this series is all wrapped up. Like, seriously, how does that happen? The Tampa Bay Lightning are supposed to be this dominant team, and we just keep allowing goals here. This is honestly ridiculous. Jake Getzel, you're keeping us in this game. It's 4-4 entering overtime, and in overtime, Kirby Dach's picking up a goal here. Maybe we're not done yet. So we've won back-to-back games moving into game 6. Ridley Gregg's going to pick up the first goal of the game. It's going to be a scoreless second period. It's time for Tampa Bay's offense to wake up, and it's not waking up here whatsoever. You're telling me the defensive defenseman is the only guy picking up a goal here. This team just infuriates me. So I don't really know what's going to be more difficult here. Rebuilding the Tampa Bay Lightning and making them a competitive team once again here, or beating the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. That team has been so dominant over the last 2 years, it's honestly ridiculous, and they're taking home another Stanley Cup here. But yeah, something has got to change with this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm fully convinced it's the coach. There is no reason this team right here should struggle as much as they are. I don't know what it is. But Victor Hedman, I'm going to be completely honest. You're on the trade block. Now you are getting traded. I just realized you don't have franchise potential. Yep, you're about to get shipped out. But you know what the worst part about all of this is I have constructed this team through trading all of my picks away, and we still suck. Like, I have traded the entire future for this team, and we still can't win games. Okay, I just saw something, and this is literally the worst thing that could have happened to this team. Like, when I say the worst, I mean the worst. We're going to go look at our coaching staff. Who's our goaltending coach now? Oh, it's Victor Hedman. He retired. We're not going to get any assets for him. If I traded him at the beginning of last season, we would have gotten a stupid amount of assets for him. We would have been in a great spot. But nope, we're going to lose him, and now he's our goaltending coach. And he's not even a good goaltending coach. Everything that could have went wrong has gone wrong. Like, I guess we have $16 million in cap space, but that doesn't really help us. Frank Nazar, I'm not giving you that much money. That's just not happening. I can qualify you as an RFA. But yeah, you're not going to be staying on this team. I'm not giving you $4 million to play in the bottom 6. Tyson Forrester, we can do $1 million for 2 years. Whether you're playing the NHL for us or not, it's not the end of the world. Connor Geeky, where you can be looking for. We can do 2 years at $800K. I really doubt you're going to develop into anything if I'm being honest. But yeah, this team is cooked. So with Victor Hedman officially retiring, we have to have a discussion here. Andrei Vasilevsky, you're 32 years old. You don't have too many years left in you. You haven't been great for us the last couple seasons, but that's not your fault. But hear me out. You have exact elite potential. You have the most value in the entire game when it comes to goaltenders. I think you guys know where I'm heading with this. I think it just has to happen. Okay, psych, he actually doesn't have the most value, but you still get what I mean here. Vasilevsky, I can trade you away here, and we can get a guy like Sorokin. I mean, Sorokin's only 1 year younger, so that actually doesn't help us in the slightest. Askarov, he's 25 years old. That would be a great upgrade for us. Jesper Wallace, that would be a great upgrade. Even the Otter would be a great goaltender for us. So I want to try to pick up a goaltender that I don't use very often. That guy would be Dustin Wolf. 4 years left on his contract at $6.2 million. He's an 86 overall with medium elite potential. We're going to bring him to the team. On top of that, we're also going to be bringing Joe Ginla to the team because he's on the Calgary Flames. And we're also going to try to bring in Jeffrey, 79 overall. He's got an X factor, medium top 6 potential. He could develop into a good player. Now, are we going to be able to get all these pieces right here? Probably not. So instead of Joe Ginla, we're going to get Jeffrey, and we're going to get Hanzek here. 2 guys that could develop nicely for us. They're going to say no to that. I'll throw Frank Nazar into this deal and we'll get it done. So Nazar, you're going to be shipped over to the Calgary Flames, and just like that, we got the deal done. Now, we do have a lot of money available here. As we know, Victor Hedman's gone. Vasilevsky got traded away, and that just freed up a bunch more money. So who's available in free agency here? Quinn Hughes. Do I want to give him $17 million, though? Absolutely not. So yeah, that's just not happening. Okay, I have a plan here. Now, I'm not sure if this plan's going to work, but if it does, it's going to be massive for us. Quinn Hughes, I'm going to give you as much money as I possibly can. That's going to be $18.6 million for 1 season. So you're going to play for this team for 1 year, and then I'm going to pray that you want to return to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I can give you an extension at like $11 million or something. We are going to try to finesse the game right here, and if we're able to, we're going to get one of the best defensemen. Is this going to work? Probably not, but it's worth a try. We're desperate. So it's the moment of truth here. Is Quinn Hughes going to be signing with the team? I highly doubt it. Like, we're only giving him a 1-year deal here. I don't know why he would only take a 1-year deal when he can be locked down for 7. But you know what? Stupider things have happened here. Quinn Hughes, are you going to join the team? We got so incredibly lucky. I know I was technically offering him $3 million more than his asking price when it came to a 1-year contract, but he was getting offers for 7 years at $17 million. 1 year at $18 million. I don't know what you're thinking, but we'll take it. Alright, so I'm looking at the team here, and we really need an elite playmaker for our top 6 here. Like, we have one great playmaker in Braden Point, but we need ourselves another one. So Brandon Hagel and Kirby Dach, both of you guys are going to have to get traded. We're bringing in Marty Necas in a 2nd round pick. We really need ourselves a playmaker like Marty Necas. We can't get the 2nd rounder, so we're just going to go 2 for 1 here. So this team right here, incredibly top loaded. Braden Point, Rupe Hintz, Marchenko on the top line, getting a +4 boost. Then we move down to the 2nd line. That's going to be Marty Necas, Lundell, and Jake Getzel. They're getting a +5 boost. Yeah, the bottom 6 is a bit weak here, but you know what? With the top 6 that we have, we should see success. Brant Clark and Quinn Hughes are going to man the first pairing. It's going to be 2 offensive defensemen here getting a +5 boost. What could possibly go wrong? Like, this team is going to play 0 defense this season, but we didn't play any defense last season. But what we are going to be able to do is score goals here, and we're going to score a lot of goals. We're just going to hope we can outscore our problems. Is this terrible logic to use? Absolutely. We don't have any other choice. Also, I feel like it goes without saying, based on all the moves we made and the lack of cap space and the lack of assets, we're just simulating right to the end of the season and praying for the best. So I guess all you really need is an amazing top 6, 3rd in the entire league, a 52, 24, and 6 record. The Tampa Bay Lightning Dynasty is back. 3.74 goals per game, one of the best in the NHL. The defense still needs a lot of work, though. When it comes to the scoring, Brain Point did his thing here, 95 points. Marchenko was great as well, 89. And then Rupe Hintz, he was doing his thing, 83 points. The top line all above a point a game, but more importantly, look at those plus minuses. +32, +29, +24. That's exactly what it should be. Quinn Hughes was great as well, 74 points. The entire team's looking amazing here. And Dustin Wolf, your numbers, not the greatest in the world, but you know what? I'll take them. 42 wins, 3 shots, a 904 and a 292. If you can step up in the postseason, we can get ourselves a Stanley Cup. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 1st round, so we're almost guaranteed the 2nd round as long as we don't choke. But how the last couple seasons have gone for the Tampa Bay Lightning, nothing's guaranteed, even beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. But we actually have one thing to do before we even take on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is the most important thing for this team. Quinn Hughes, you need that extension. Now we're just going to pray that this man is willing to sign an extension. He wants to sign here, and what are you going to be looking for? This is why I made that deal. $13.8 million. We can get him for less than that. We're going to be looking at $12 million for Quinn Hughes. $12.5 million on a 6-year deal. Quinn Hughes is sticking around for the rest of the rebuild. I don't care if you call this cheesy. We're doing what we have to win. So we're 3rd in the entire league. Quinn Hughes is going to be sticking around here. Always right for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We just have to show up when it matters. We're dropping game number 1. We're dropping game number 2 here. We're winning game 3. You guys better win game 4. Alright, we're keeping this series somewhat competitive, but we can't be losing games now. We got to win 4 straight. What are we doing? 3rd in the entire league, by the way. Like, this is ridiculous. This is honestly ridiculous that the Tampa Bay Lightning just can't win here. Matthew Knies is picking up the first goal of the game. It's 4-3 right now. We're entering the 3rd period, and that's going to be deciding this one. Can this team step up when it matters most? We sort of did, but we've allowed 6 goals in this game. So have the Toronto Maple Leafs. The 7th goal is going to be deciding this game right here, and John Tavares is going to be scoring the winner. No way, we just lost in the 1st round to the Maple Leafs. We lost 6-7. I don't care what our offense was looking like, because our offense was good, no question about it. Our defense was abysmal. Braden Point, you had 10 points. That's great. Jake Getzel, 8 points is great. 4 goals, 4 assists, -7. You were -7. Marty Necas, 4 points, -6. And then when it comes to Dustin Wolf's numbers, an 877 and a 381. Like, what are we doing here? A 52, 24, and 6 record, and that's how you show up in the postseason. There's nothing I can say that will explain this disappointment. So I was worried about losing to the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final, but in order to lose to the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final, you have to make it out of the 1st round. I'm fully convinced Tampa's never even going to make it to the Stanley Cup final the way this video has been going. Alright, so we finally have some draft picks to work with. We can bring some young guys onto the team here. We're going to take a bit of a risk with this prospect, hoping he has medium elite potential. Hey, I'll take a 73 overall with medium top 6. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot we only had 3 draft picks. We're going to ignore the next 2 outside the 1st round. Those didn't happen. So we have 2 guys leaving the team here, but I'm actually perfectly fine with that because we have $12 million in cap space, so we can just bring in 2 guys at $5 million for 1 season. And then that's going to be massive upgrades for the bottom 6 and the defense. And then we'll just make sure we have enough money to give everyone extensions here. Now, the team's in a tough position right now because there's a handful of guys that we have to give extensions to, but nobody wants long-term deals. Brandon Clark, obviously, you're going to come back in the future, but we got to do more than 2 years here. Thomas Harley, I would love to keep you on this team. I got to do more than 1 year. That just can't happen. Hanzek, hopefully you're willing to do a reasonable deal here, and this is incredibly reasonable. So how about we do 6 years at $2.4 million and we just call that a deal? It's great for both sides. Mason Appleton, you'll probably leave the team. You're 32 years old. Tyson Forrester, I could see you leaving the team as well. What are you looking for? 1.9 million. Actually, we can do this. We can do 1.8 million for 2 years. And then with our final player being Huttunen, definitely said that wrong. 1.9 for the next 5. I guess we could also give Jeffrey a deal here. I mean, he's a 79 overall. Maybe he can jump into the lineup. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to bring in one defenseman here. He's going to be signed to a 2-year deal. It's going to be Ethan Bear, 1.1 million. 80 overall, but he has a perfect fit on the third pairing, and that's what we need here. And then when it comes to the other $11 million we have, who are we going to sign here? Mark Stone on a 1-year deal? Could be the move. Like, I'm serious when I say Mark Stone on a 1-year deal. Apparently he fits on the third line. We actually might do that. Here's $10 million for 1 year. Does this make sense? Probably not. But we got to win, and we're doing everything in our power to do that. So we got ourselves virtually the exact same team as last season. Braden Point, Marchenko, Rupe Hintz, Jake Getzel, Lundell, and Marty Natchez. You know the core here. We brought in Mark Stone here to help the bottom 6. Hopefully that's going to make the difference. I highly doubt it, though. The defense, almost exactly the same, except Ethan Bear is going to be joining the lineup here. And then when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, 88 overall. Do better than he did last postseason. That's literally all I have to say. Like, we have a majority of the same team, but you know what? Let's take a quick look at extensions here. Hopefully Brant Clark's changed his mind. Like, are you willing to sign longer than 2 seasons? It doesn't look like it. Do I just lock you down now? Actually, we can do this. How does $8 million per year for the next 5 years sound? That's actually a lot better than what it was before. I think you were asking for $10 million when it came to a 5-year deal, so we can do this for sure. And then Thomas Harley, can you ask for more than 1 year here? It doesn't look like it, but we might be able to do something like this. $7 million for the next 5. Actually, let's make that $6.8 million for the next 5. So we're going to keep you around. We're going to keep Brant Clark around. And then when it comes to the rest of the team, we'll figure it out as we go. Yeah, so I may or may not have messed up here. Thomas Harley, I thought I offered you a pretty fair contract. Apparently it wasn't fair in the slightest, but thankfully you still want an extension with the team. Okay, yeah, that was the greatest thing that could have happened to this team. I sent him an offer and he was like, you know what, I'm insulted by that. I don't want to re-sign with the team. Now we're getting you for 5.7 for the next 6. That was the best thing that could have happened to us. So we've reached the trade deadline. The Tampa Bay Lightning are looking solid, but we've been through this before. 5th in the entire league, a 34-19-7 record. The offense is the best in the entire league at 4.07. The defense, though, not good whatsoever. We actually have one of the worst defenses in the entire league here. I mean, it's not the worst. I guess it's technically right in the middle. But yeah, if we want to win a Stanley Cup, it's got to be way better. So when it comes to fixing our defense, do we actually fix the defensive pieces? Okay, never mind. It has to be coaching. Like, Brain Point, you have 69 points and you're plus 0. Last season, weren't you like plus 30 or something? Like, how does that happen? You were plus 32 last season. You have 69 points so far this year and your plus minus is 0. How does that even happen? Like, seriously, like, how does something like this happen? So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's our bottom 6. It's our defensive pairings. I couldn't tell you why our defense is this bad. I mean, Thomas Harley, you're minus 8 and you only have 18 points here. So maybe I'd trade you for a defensive defenseman. We already have a defensive defenseman, Eric Chernak. This team is just very confusing. Like, I don't know what it is, but we just never can see success here. Dustin Wolf, you're putting up numbers. But what do we have to do in order to improve this team? Because we have all the superstars we need, but we just don't perform like it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I've gone through almost every single team here, and I can't really find a good defensive defenseman that would actually help us. And then when it comes to fixing up our team here, I mean, the top 6 is elite. The bottom 6 looks really good. So I don't even know what trade we can make that would make our team significantly better. Like, Askarov, we don't need. We don't need Zach Werenski. We don't need Rasmus Anderson. I mean, these guys would help the team, but I don't want to give up the assets to get them. Morgan Frost, it doesn't make sense. We would trade for him. We wouldn't be able to re-sign him, and then he would immediately walk. Shea Theodore is 33 years old. Troy Terry just doesn't make sense. Timo Meier doesn't really make sense for us. Barbashev doesn't make sense. Like, I can't really find any players that make sense for us and are on reasonable deals. Like, Noah Hanfin's only getting paid $3.7 million. Don't know what's with that, but I have to give up a handful of assets to get him. So I don't think we're going to make any moves here. Even like Ryan Lindgren, a guy that would make sense to bring to the team here because he would be a good defensive defenseman, $7 million. I'm just not doing that. So we're going to rock with the team we have. We got ourselves a 34-19-7 record, and we're first in the Atlantic right now. So as long as we continue to win games here, we're going to be all right. So we've made it to the end of the season. The Tampa Bay Lightning, after being 5th in the entire league at the trade deadline, finished 5th in the entire league and didn't miss the playoffs here. Yeah, like imagine being 5th in the entire league at the trade deadline and then missing the playoffs. Like how in the world would that ever happen? That's just so unrealistic and would never happen, and definitely hasn't happened in this video so far. Braden Point, you had 89 points and you had a negative plus minus. I don't know what you're doing out there. Like respectfully, how do you have 89 points and you're -4? Have you ever heard of the word defense? You should try it. Marchenko, you had 93 and you were +5. That's really not much better than being -4. I'm going to be completely honest. Rupe Hintz, you were at least +10. Marty Necas, you were +16. Quinn Hughes, you did everything you could and you were +19. So I'll respect those plus minuses, but Braden Point, bro, there's no excuse for that. Dustin Wolf, 35 wins, 2 shots, an 897 and a 317. Probably wouldn't hurt if we actually brought in a defensive-minded coach. I'm going to be honest. But the problem is once we bring in that defensive-minded coach, you know for a fact our goal is going to be cut in half, and we're going to finish bottom 5 in the entire league. So really, we got to find a happy medium somewhere. We're taking on the Florida Panthers in the first round. We were 5th in the entire league, by the way. Don't lose in the first round again. Okay, now whatever you do, just get out of the first round here. I don't care if it's a sweep. I don't care if it's in 7 games. Just don't lose in the first round here. We have a 2-1 series lead. Make that a 3-1 series lead. Win game 5 and move on to the second round. We're actually doing it. We're making it to the second round here. I don't care if we allowed 6 goals. We at least made it to the second round. So we did something I didn't think would be possible, making it out of the first round here. We have the Buffalo Sabres to take on next. You know what? We made it out of the first round. That's enough for me. We can celebrate here. I don't care if we lose in the second round. Make it out of the first round. That was actually quite the accomplishment for this team. Now, but in all seriousness, I'm very happy I made this a 10-year rebuild and not a 5-year rebuild. I mean, we're in year 5 right now, so if we win a Stanley Cup, it would work out for us. But we're about to blow a 3-0 series lead to the Buffalo Sabres. That's about to happen. Never mind, I guess we're off to the conference finals because we found a way to play some sort of defense. But not really, we still allowed 5 goals. Okay, so I just saw who the remaining 4 teams are, so I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to beat the Boston Bruins and make it to the Stanley Cup final. The Calgary Flames, they're going to beat the Colorado Avalanche, and we're going to beat them in the Stanley Cup final. And then Vasilevsky is going to completely stop our offense, and we're going to lose every single game 7-0. Sorry to spoil it for you. And my prediction was completely off. We're facing elimination heading into game 6. Nothing has gone right here. But you know what? Just because we're not taking the Boston Bruins down a 5-game series doesn't mean we're not going to beat them. We're picking up a ton of goals in the first period here, and as long as we don't choke, we're going to be winning this game. We're going to be beating Boston 5-2. So we're going to beat the Boston Bruins in game 7 here, and then we're going to move on to the Stanley Cup final, where we're going to have to take on the Calgary Flames. Never mind. No, we aren't. Okay, my prediction's completely off here. We're losing to the Boston Bruins, but who's Boston going to take on the Stanley Cup final? Wow, the Calgary Flames. Who saw that one coming? And watch this. Calgary's going to win the Stanley Cup here. I can see it all happening right now. The Calgary Flames, Stanley Cup champ. Okay, never mind. I'm just completely yapping. What do I know? Boston Bruins are Stanley Cup champions. Vasilevsky's not getting a cup here. Dustin Wolf's not getting a cup. The Tampa Bay Lightning aren't getting another cup here. The Boston Bruins are, though. Our offense was great during the postseason. That's not much of a surprise. But that goaltending, an 887 and a 348. There is no reason we should have made it to the conference finals. We should have lost in the first round. Now, I still haven't figured out, is it the goaltending? Is it the defense? What is wrong with this team? We're eventually going to find out, though. Okay, we got stupid lucky in the draft here, but with the 93rd overall pick, we're getting a medium-league potential playmaker. But it turns out that this guy's actually not going to be the best player we get in the draft here. We just wait until you see who we get with the 125th overall. Not only does this guy have medium elite potential, but he's also a gem. We're getting ourselves a great goaltender here. This guy's going to develop. He's going to be a star player for us, but he is starting at 48 overall, so he is going to have to develop pretty quick. So the rest of the draft is pretty cooked here, so I'm going to try to trade the 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks that we have over to the Arizona Coyotes and get 2 future 3rd rounders. They're going to say no, but what if I give you another 7th? So it looks like the extra 7th round is going to make the difference here, and we're getting 2 3rd rounders. So we got $7 million here, but it's safe to say a lot of the guys are leaving. Mark Stone's not rejoining the team. Mason Appleton's not. Knizhov, what are you going to be looking for here? 2.6 million is not the end of the world, but I feel like we can find a cheaper replacement. Connor Geeky, I'll give you another 2-way contract. As long as you're willing to sign 2-way contracts, you can keep coming back to the team here. And then Ethan Gaucher is also going to be signing a 2-way contract. Hugo, I guess I wouldn't mind keeping you around as our backup here. We can do 2 years at 1.2 million. But with that signing right there, we're done with the re-sign phase. Never mind, Hugo's not coming back to the team. So Braden Point, unfortunately, you're not getting any younger here. 33 years old. I think it's time we trade you away. Marchenko, I think we might have to trade you away as well. Actually, you're only looking for 10.8 million. We could probably make something happen here. So how does 9.8 for the next 7 years sound? I think that's pretty fair for you. Lundell, you're playing some big minutes for us, so we'll keep you around as well. How does 6.5 million for the next 4 sound? Actually, let's make that 6.6 million for the next 5. Never mind, 6.7 million. So both of these guys are going to be coming back. Brain Point, on the other hand, you're going to be traded away. All right, so things are slightly changing here. Remember how I said Lundell is going to be coming back to the team? That's actually not the case. We're going to send Brain Point over to the St. Louis Blues. We're going to get Michael Misa. 6 years at $10 million, 91 at 22 years old. He's already got a superstar X factor. Dalibor Dvorsky, you're an 87 overall, a two-way forward that can fit in our second line. That's where you're going to be playing. You're only getting paid $4.2 million for the next 4 years, so this deal makes a lot of sense. And then Lundell, will trade you somewhere else and bring in a defenseman. So all we have to do is include a 7th rounder into this deal, and this deal is going to get accepted. So here's a 2031 7th round pick, and just like that, we have to add another 7th. Unfortunately, we don't have multiple 7th round picks, but here's a 7th and a 6th rounder, and just like that, St. Louis is accepting the deal. So you have to hear me out with this deal. Jake Getzel, you're 34 years old, you just don't fit on the team anymore. So I'm going to send you along with a 3rd round pick over to the Seattle Kraken, and we're getting Matty Beniers. But Matty Beniers isn't going to be playing for us because we're going to be getting a familiar face rejoin the team here. Because you remember this guy that we acquired a while ago that actually turned out to be a superstar player, 89 overall Logan Stankoven, who has a superstar X factor? Wow, if only we had a guy like that on our team. Now he's going to be joining the team after we give up some draft capital. Yeah, it turns out Logan Stankoven would be a great player for us. We're going to include a 2nd round pick in this deal. That's not going to be enough. How about I give this 3rd round pick from the San Jose Sharks and then our 3rd round pick for 2031? I think that's going to be enough for Logan Stankoven. He's joined the team here. Alright, so I think this deal makes a lot of sense for both sides. You get Lundell and a 1st round pick. We get David Jiricek. Now Columbus, this makes absolutely no sense for you, so I don't even know why I said this makes sense for both sides, but we get David Jiricek, 87 overall. He can play on the top 4 here. You get Lundell and you get a 1st round pick. They're going to be saying no, but we're quite close in value here. I'll give you a 5th rounder as well. So you might have noticed we've traded a lot of picks away here. Yes, we have. How many picks do we have left? That doesn't matter. So we have to sign one defenseman here, and that's going to be Hayden Fleury. It's going to be 1.7 for the next 2 years. We just need somebody for the 3rd pairing. Also, I'll actually do one other signing in free agency. It'll be Bobby Brink, 3.3 for 1 year. So after making all the moves we did, we actually don't have money for Marchenko, so I'm going to have to do 9.4 for the next 7. Now, if he accepts that deal, we're going to have enough money for him. So this team right here has been built to be carried by the top 6. Michael Misa, Rupe Hintz, Marchenko on the 1st line, Marty Necas, Dalibor Dvorsky, and then Logan Stankoven on the 2nd. The bottom 6, I just need you guys to play somewhat good defense. I don't care if it's amazing defense, just play above average. When it comes to the defense, Quinn Hughes, Brant Clark, David Jiricek, Thomas Harley, that's an amazing top 4. Hayden Fleury, Ethan Bear, keep the puck out of the net from time to time. And then when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, you have 5 X factors, 88 overall. I need you to have a superstar season. Also, we have a 77 overall as the backup. Don't worry about it. This team has all the potential in the world. We were able to make it to the conference finals, but we fell to the Boston Bruins. If anything, I think we're going to be a better team this season. Like, we made a couple changes over the offseason. We got a bit younger. I'm hoping we got a bit quicker. I'm just hoping that can be the difference this time. Now, it's a historic day. I never thought we'd see the day. The Tampa Bay Lightning are 1st in the entire league, a 43-11-7 record, but I don't care about this. Hold on, what's the defense looking like? How? Just how? David Jiricek, are you telling me you're better defensively than a defensive defenseman? We have the best defense in the entire league. Sometimes this game just makes absolutely no sense. Michael Misa 70 points, plus 35. Marchenko's plus 29. Marty Necas plus 18. Rupe Hintz plus 37. All of a sudden, we're the best defensive team in the league. And Dustin Wolf, you're the best goaltender. 36 wins, 4 shots, a 919 to 240. I am not making a single change here. We are the best defensive team in the league. That never happens. I am not making any trades. I need to make sure we keep this team the exact same. There was a time where I made a trade when we were 5th in the entire league at the trade deadline. Then we missed the playoffs. Not doing that again. Now, normally I'd be very happy about a 59-16-7 record, but in our final 2 games, we lost both of them, so we didn't finish with 60 wins, and I'm a bit upset about that. But you know what? 3.82 goals per game, 2.62 allowed, the best offense and best defense. You can't choke this season. There is no reason this team should lose. Marchenko was great. Rupe Hintz was great. Marty Necas was great. Every single player on this team was great. There is no weaknesses. Everyone is good here. Dustin Wolf is incredible. Please, please, please do not screw it up. Don't lose in the 1st round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Don't lose in the 2nd round. Just win a Stanley Cup. It's been years and years of disappointment for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's got to change eventually. So here we go. The Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're winning game number 1. We're moving into game 2. We're losing that one. We're winning game 3. Just don't split the series here. We're 1 game away from the 2nd round. Things are looking great for us, and they continue to look great. We're moving on. So we've moved on to the 2nd round where we get to take on the Florida Panthers here. We know what Florida's capable of. They're usually a good team late in the simulation, but you know what? I think the Tampa Bay Lightning might be a bit better. All right, so we just got to keep on winning games here. We took down the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now we're going to take on the Florida Panthers. Is it going to be a sweep? It's a sweep over Florida. Yeah, we're moving on here. We got all the momentum. We just got to keep on rolling. So we're moving into the conference finals where we get to take on the New Jersey Devils. A sweep over the New Jersey Devils would be ideal here. Hey, we have a 3-1 series lead. We won the first 3 games here. We're not going to blow this, right? We're not going to blow a 3-0 series lead, right? We made it to the Stanley Cup final to take on the Calgary Flames. It's Dustin Wolf versus Andrei Vasilevsky, and things are not looking good, but hold on, we're winning back-to-back games here. Can we make it 3 straight games? We're off to Game 6 elimination. Vasilevsky's been the better goaltender so far, but we're about to turn it up in these final 2 games. Now, please do not lose in the Stanley Cup final. We've made it all the way here. We can't be losing. We got this game locked down. We had 4 goals entering the 3rd period. Quinn Hughes is going to be picking up another one here. Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. It comes down to 1 game. So it all comes down to this. The Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Calgary Flames. Calgary's picking up the first 2 goals of the game. That's fine because we're going to be responding, picking up 3 straight. Zane Parek's going to even it up, moving into the 3rd period. The 3rd period is going to decide this game. And who's going to be taking it? Of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're picking up back-to-back goals here in the 3rd period. 2 goals in a 2-minute span, and we're Stanley Cup champions. And I'm very happy we're Stanley Cup champions because the Calgary Flames won 40 games this season. We were taken to Game 7 by a team that won 40 games. There's no reason it should have been that close. I mean, I'm going to take the Stanley Cup, of course. I'm not going to complain about that. But we won 59 games, they won 40, and we were taken to Game 7. Quinn Hughes, 24 points here. Logan Stankoven, 22. You were the missing piece. Marchenko, 21. He was leading the way when it came to goals. And Dustin Wolf, you finally figured it out here. 16 wins, 3 shots, and 924 and a 230. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions, but we got ourselves a few more years left. Let's go win a couple more. 32nd overall pick. We have a chance of getting a decent player here. Like, this guy's a gem. He might have bottom 6 potential. I highly doubt he's gonna have bottom 6 potential if he's a gem though. So ideally we're getting maybe a medium elite potential player here. I highly doubt it, but medium top 6, I'll definitely take that, especially if he's a gem. And it looks like the gems aren't quite done yet because in the 2nd round, where are we gonna begin once again? Another gem. All right, so Bobby Brink, apparently you have 0 line fit here whatsoever. I don't know what our scouts were cooking up, but yeah, your line fit was non-existent. That's why you didn't play last season. Coolidge, I'm going to qualify you as an RFA, but then you're getting traded away. You're looking for $3 million. We can't do that. Ethan Bear, I wouldn't mind keeping you around here, but not at that price tag. And then our backup, yeah, we'll just let him walk and we'll get somebody in free agency. All right, so I think it goes without saying that Rupe Hintz, Marty Necas, and Logan Stankoven all have to come back here. Maybe not Rupe Hintz though. Like, bro is 33 years old, so maybe I trade him away and we bring in somebody else. But Marty Necas, you have to come back to the team here. I'll do 4 years at what, 10.5 million? Actually, let's make that 4 years at $10 million flat. So 4 years at $10 million, it's about 1.7 more than what you're getting paid right now. Logan Stankoven, I'm a bit concerned about you. Yikes. Okay, that is quite the bag that you're asking for, but I'm going to be the guy that offers it to you, so here's 11.4 million for the next 8 years. Is that a mistake? Probably. We know what we vibe. Also, Dustin Wolf needs a deal, and what's he going to be looking for? 8.3 million. We could probably do $7 million. I'll make that 7.3 for the next 6 years. That's a fair deal for him. All right, so Rupe Hintz, we're going to trade you away here, but we're going to do a bit of a 3-team deal. It's going to be our first rounder and Rupe Hintz over to the Anaheim Ducks. Minty Yukov, a 3rd and 4th round pick are going to be acquired here, but we're actually going to be flipping all of these assets. And where are these assets going to be headed? I've already decided. Now, the original plan was to flip Minty Yukov for Slafkovsky, but then I realized, oh, that trade's going to be impossible to get done. So Minty Yukov, you're off to the LA Kings. Quinton Byfield and this high top 6 potential player. This is a good deal. As long as we can bring Quinton Byfield back on a fair price. And it looks like bringing in Quinton Byfield was the right move because we're getting an absolute steal here. 6.6 for the next 6 seasons. The only question I have with him, why don't you have any X factors? Like, you're an 89 overall with 0 X factors. I'm assuming you're about to develop a ton over the offseason. So we're going to make 1 free agent signing, and Kesselring I think could be good for us. 2.3 for the next 3 years. You're an 80 overall that can fit on the 3rd pairing, and that's all I need. Alright, so Kulich is going to be returned to the team, but you know what? The Columbus Blue Jackets have this interesting prospect. 82 overall. He can play some bottom 6 mans for us. So Kulich in a 4th round pick, that should be enough. Now, signing that guy to a reasonable deal, that's another question. So I think we're going to be able to do a deal under $2 million or just at $2 million. We'll do 1.975 for the next 3. All right, so we're in a tough spot here. We actually don't have enough money for Quinton Byfield, but maybe 6.4 for the next 5 is going to be able to lock him down. I think it will be. It's going to be tough though. So if he's willing to accept that contract, then we're set for the next couple of years here. If he's rejecting that offer, we're going to have to trade somebody. We got to free up that money. Yep, never mind. Quinton Byfield now has to be traded because he's asking for $9 million. He He was insulted by that last offer. That's a tough one. So Quentin Byfield, unfortunately, you're going to have to be traded away here. A 4th and 3rd round picks going to be sent over to the Vegas Golden Knights. We're getting Bloomquist. He's another power forward, 85 overall with 3 X factors. He's only 19 years old. We're going to have him for the next 2 years at 1.1 million, and then we're going to have his RFA rights. It's going to be an easy contract to manage. All right, so we went through a bit of a rebuild here, but you know what? The team's still looking amazing. The top 6 is absolutely incredible here, and this top 6 should be around for the rest of the rebuild. The bottom 6 is slowly going to go through changes, but as long as we can bring cheap players in, we're going to be all right. The defense is amazing. Like, look at these 3 guys right there. I mean, look at these 4 guys. These 4 guys should be sticking around for the rest of the rebuild, or I'm hoping they are. Quinn Hughes, he got 4 more years. David Jiricek, we're going to have to re-sign him. Thomas Harley, he's got 5 years left, and then Brant Clark, he's got 4 years left. So yeah, the core is sticking around. And on top of them sticking around, Dustin Wolf's also sticking around. I forgot to go get a backup. Let me go do that. So let's just quickly head over to free agency here, go to goaltenders, and get ourselves like a 79 overall backup. 76, good enough for me. And I'll lock him down for 3 years. Here you go, 900k for the next 3. Better than what we had before. So once again, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be one of the top teams, or first in the entire league. The team was looking so good, I just simulated right to the end of the season. A 56-20-6 record. The offense is amazing once again, and that defense spectacular as usual. I shouldn't say as usual, because for like a majority of this rebuild, we were terrible defensively, but you know what? We've turned it around. Michael Misa, 97 points here. Quinn Hughes is looking elite, 86 points. Marchenko, 83. Stankoven, 81. Bloomquist, what a great pickup he was, 77 points here. I had a couple questions about this guy, but you know what? He's doing all right. Also, Murray Natchez and Dalibor Dvorsky, expecting a bit more, like +4 and +6. You gotta be better than that. When it comes to Dustin Wolf as our goaltender, you know what? He's picking up wins here, 43 with 6 shutouts. A 906 and 281 might not be the best numbers in the world, but hey, we're first in the entire league. I can't really complain too much. We got ourselves the Detroit Red Wings in the first round. The Tampa Bay Lightning are looking to go back-to-back here, but it all starts with this matchup against Detroit. So we got Tampa versus Detroit. It's gonna be a great matchup here, but you know what? I believe the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to come out on top. We're winning the first 2 games of this series. We're going to be dropping game 3 5-1, but you know what? We're going to be responding in game 4. We're going to be taking it 5-1 ourselves and closing it out in game number 5 with 7 goals. You'll love to see it. So we got past the Red Wings. That was a nice warm-up matchup for us, but now we have our true toughest task. It's going to be the Buffalo Sabres, a 52-win team. They were one of the best. But you know what? Tampa Bay was better than them. So we looked pretty good against the Detroit Red Wings. We just need to keep up that momentum against the Buffalo Sabres here. 6 goals in game number 1 is great. But you know what's even better? A 3-1 series lead. If we can close this out in 5 games, this team's going to be in a great spot. A 4-2 victory, you'll love to see it. So we've made to the conference finals for, I believe, the 3rd year in a row here. I know we won a Stanley Cup last season. I think the year before we lost in the conference finals. I've completely lost track. I've blended all the years together, but it doesn't matter. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Montreal Canadiens, the Minnesota Wild taking on the San Jose Sharks. We got some great teams left, but Tampa's clearly the best. Alright, so it's safe to say things did not go very well for us. We dropped game number 1, and then game number 2, and then game number 3. Facing a 3-0 deficit, we won game 4 here, but yeah, we got to win a handful of games still. So we got game number 5 here. We just got to take it 1 game at a time. Cole Caulfield's picking up 2 goals in the first period. Things are just not looking good for us. We have not been able to stop the offense of the Montreal Canadiens, and that's what's going to cost us here. Cole Caulfield, you're that guy, plain and simple. Nothing we can do here. So we have 3 seasons left. We've made it to 3 straight conference finals appearances. The team's been picking it up over the last couple years. Hopefully we can keep this momentum going. So based on what happened in the Stanley Cup final, clearly the Tampa Bay Lightning weren't ready. We lost in 5 games to the Montreal Canadiens, who got swept to the San Jose Sharks. Based on what happened here, I think we got to make some changes to the team, but the changes are going to be coming to the bottom 6. We have our core 6 guys here. That's not changing. Logan Stankoven, you were -4. Brant Clark, you weren't the best here. Quinn Hughes wasn't the best, but you know what? We have a great team here. I believe in what we have. Dustin Wolf, you just have to be better. I can't be running a 900 save percentage and a goals against of 3. That just won't win us Stanley Cups here. So we're pretty late in the draft here, and I'm looking at AHL players, so I think I'd rather just trade these 2 picks here for a future 3rd rounder. We're going to get a bit more value from that. So as I mentioned earlier, the core pieces are going to be staying around, but Peyton Krebs, Forrester, and Hayden Fleury, all you guys are going to be walking here. We're going to bring in some new guys for the bottom 6 and 3rd pairing defense. Okay, now this is where things are going to get difficult. David Jiricek, we have to give you an extension, and what are you looking for? 7.6 million. I don't know if I can do that. Like, we really just don't have the money for you. Bloomquist, I know you're looking for a deal. What are you looking for? 12.2 million. I have a plan here. Now this plan is probably going to work. It's going to be a bit sketchy, but I think we can make it happen. So I'm going to give Bloomquist here 11.3 million for the next 6. David Jiricek, you're going to be sticking around here. How much are you looking for again? We can do probably 6.5 million. Actually, I'll make that 6.7 just so I can make sure that you return to the team. Now by making these 2 signings, clearly we have to trade somebody away. I already know who that's going to be. So clearly we have to free up a bit of money here. So what I could do is Thomas Harley, a 2nd and 3rd rounder, over to the Nashville Predators. We get this medium-league potential defenseman. He's under contract for the next 2 years at $1 million. He's going to keep on developing. this is a good move for us. We're going to free up money. We're still going to be bringing in a great defenseman. You could probably make the argument the team's better than we were last season. Yeah, we have to give up a lot of draft capital in this deal, but you know what? We're going to free up the money. We're getting everything that we need here. This is a smart move. So we traded away a lot of the core pieces for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but now it's time to bring one of them back. Anthony Cirelli, 1 year at $9 million. You're going to hold it down the third line. You're going to help us win another Stanley Cup here. All right, so Bloomquist just said no to our last deal, but hopefully this is going to be enough. $11.1 million for the next 7. I doubt he's going to accept it, but you know what? We can always pray. Like, if he doesn't accept it, we'll just trade him away, but I'm under the impression that $11.1 million is going to be enough for him. There we go. We got him locked down. The core pieces are sticking around. This team's going to be winning a handful more Stanley Cups. Now, it's the same stories every single season. Michael Misa, we're going to see Bloomquist and Marchenko on the top line. Mari Natchez, Dalibor Dvorsky, and Logan Stankoven on the second. We have an amazing bottom 6 here. The defense is even better than it was last season. Yeah, we might have lost Thomas Harley, but we found ourselves a great replacement in Colby Pecker. And then when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, I just need you to be good for one season. If you look great in the postseason, we're taking home multiple Stanley Cups. If you fold and have a save percentage of 900 and a goals against a 3, we're going to be cooked in the first round. So you know what you have to do. The defense knows what they have to do. The offense knows what they have to do. Everyone just has to perform as they should. And you know what? I believe in the team we have. We're simming right to the end of the season. Now, this is the old Tampa Bay Lightning that I know. The new Tampa Bay Lightning, they win games and they finish at the top of the league. This is the old Tampa Bay Lightning. 10th in the entire league, a 34-21-5 record. The defense completely folded. That's the big difference between this season and last season. The defense has completely disappeared, but the offense also isn't quite as good. The entire team has just completely changed here. I know I was going to simulate right to the end of the season, but I just had to point this out. Like, I don't know what just happened with this team, but something clearly changed. I don't know what it was, but yeah, we are just not the same team we used to be. Dustin Wolf, you're still putting up decent numbers here, but I don't know what happened over the offseason. Yeah, we lost Thomas Harley, but I feel like we still should be a really good team. But you know what? We vibe. We're going to simulate the rest of the season here, and we're going to get ourselves another Stanley Cup. Like, we have a 34-21-5 record. It's not like we're bad by any means. So I think the reason that we were 10th in the entire league is because we just had a really poor start to the season. We're going to finish 6th here with a 48-28-6 record. It's a bit of a fall off based on the last couple years, but you know what? The team's still looking great here. I can't really complain with what we're doing. Bloomquist, you're looking fantastic. 96 points here, including 57 goals. Marchenko's doing his thing, 83 points. Michael Misa, 82. Quinn Hughes, 79 points here, and he was plus 30, so you love to see that. And then when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, these numbers are incredible. A 910 and 265. Yeah, you only had 37 wins, but that save percentage of goals against is something I love to see, especially if those numbers carry into the postseason. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. We got to get back to the Stanley Cup final. It's been too long since we've been there. So it's time for the Tampa Bay Lightning to lock in here. We got to make a statement in round number 1 here, and that's going to be a sweep over the Toronto Maple Leafs. It might not be a sweep, but you know what? If we can win 3 straight games here, we'll be in a good spot. Whatever you do, don't fall to a 3-2 deficit. That's the last thing I wanted. I didn't want you to lose this one game right here, and what'd you do? You proceed to lose it. I mean, it is important to note the Toronto Maple Leafs technically were ahead of us in the standings, but that means absolutely nothing here because this team's going to be waking up, and we're going to be taking this game right here. We're off to Game 7 elimination. Shout out to Michael Misa. Big time empty net goal. So this game right here is going to decide the future of this team. Are we going to be moving on to the second round, or are we going to be falling? We're exchanging goals in the first period. Moving on to the second period, we're going to be exchanging goals once again here. If we lose because of an Austin Matthews hat trick, that's going to be the end of this. We're going to be trading for that man. We're moving into the third period. It's going to be a scoreless third, so we need overtime to settle this one. And in this overtime, we're going to see Quinn Hughes step up when it matters most. We're off to the second round. Yeah, like if we lost that game, Quinn Hughes and something else was getting packaged up and we were getting Austin Matthews. If you can't beat him, bring him to your team. I mean, by that logic, we should trade for Cole Caulfield, but it doesn't matter. We got the Buffalo Sabres up next. So we took down the Toronto Maple Leafs in a 7-game series. Hopefully this doesn't go to 7 games. We've won back-to-back games here, but you know what? It's a familiar sight to the Toronto Maple Leafs as long as we don't lose Game 5. Okay, we're doing the exact same thing we did against Toronto. We're going to split the first 4 games, then we're going to drop Game 5. We got to win Game 6 and Game 7 once again here. Like, we can't always put ourselves in this position. Like, we got to be closing these out in 5, maybe even 6 games, but we can't be putting ourselves in a position like this. It's 4-4 entering the third period. No defense has been played whatsoever. Hopefully that changes in the third period and we see Dustin Wolf be incredible. Okay, you have to be incredible in overtime as well. You can't just be incredible in the third period. You need to be incredible in double overtime as well. And in double OT, Trent Frederick. Trent Frederick's going to score the winner. Also, I just want to point out we outshot them 60-38. We outshot that team 60-38 and we still couldn't win. Like, we dominated this team. 13 shots in the first period, 15 in the second, 13 in the third period, and then throughout both overtimes we picked up another 18 shots. We outshot that team like crazy, but yet the goaltender stood on his head, and who was it? Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Bro had a 932 and allowed 4 goals. If you're posting a 932 after allowing 4 goals, you already know that man was elite. So we're going to be falling in the second round here. We have 2 more seasons to rebuild. As usual, I want to rock the same team for the final 2 years, so some trades will be made. So in the Stanley Cup final, it's actually a pain to see this because who's going to be winning a Stanley Cup without the Tampa Bay Lightning? Thomas Harley. He's going to be beating the Boston Bruins in 6 games. So you know what, Thomas Harley, you deserve that. It's unfortunate you can win another Stanley Cup with us, but it just came at a cost. We couldn't afford you. But clearly, we got to make some changes to this team. Like Marty Necas, 15 points. Okay, Marty Necas, normally you're a bit of a disappointment in the postseason, but you were actually good. Quinn Hughes was good. Brent Clark was good. It was the top players that didn't show up here. That's usually never the case. Like Marchenko, 7 points and was -7. Bloomquist, you had 6 points, but you're -6. I'm so used to the second line disappointing us, but this time it was actually the first line, and the goaltending, it wasn't great from Dustin Wolf, but it wasn't completely abysmal. So plain and simple, the big time players just didn't show up here. But you know what? In the next 2 seasons, that's going to be changing. All right, so as you guys know, I just spent a ton of my money last season. So yeah, we have $1.9 million in cap space. Jeffrey's not coming back. We do not have enough money to afford Jeffrey. Actually, maybe we do. I'll do $1.2 million for the next 2 years. So as I mentioned earlier, I want to run the exact same team for the next 2 years. Dalibor Dvorsky, I'm really surprised you've dropped to an 87 overall, but you know what? That's perfectly fine because now we're going to be able to keep you on this team. 5.1 for the next 4 years. I can live with that contract. However, there are a couple of guys here that are on expiring deals. We're going to have to trade them away in order to run the same team for the next 2. So as we know, I want to run the exact same team for the next 2 years. So that's going to mean having to trade this medium elite potential player over to the Chicago Blackhawks for another medium elite potential player. We're going from basically like an 86 overall to a 79 overall, but luckily we're going to have this guy for the next couple of years. So giving up a 3rd round pick as well isn't going to be the end of the world. So moving on to our next trade, Malik's going to be traded over to the St. Louis Blues. We're getting a low elite potential player here. He's an 83 overall. He can play some bottom 6 minutes for us. I want to try to get 2 3rd round picks in this deal, and it looks like we're going to be able to if we give up a 7th rounder. Now, do I want to give up this lucrative 7th round pick? Absolutely, because we're getting 2 3rd rounders back. So how about I make this trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins where we get a high top 4 potential defenseman, and then we can flip him away. They're going to be saying no to that deal. What do you want? A 6th round pick? Here you go. You're getting a 6th round pick, and this deal's getting accepted. Now, with that deal completed, it shouldn't be too difficult to get Ryder Ritchie here. I'm going to be sending that package over. They're going to say no. I actually don't even think we have to give up a 1st round pick now. So if I give up this 3rd rounder, is that going to be enough? They're going to be saying no to that. I'll include a 2nd rounder. I don't think we should have to include a 1st round pick. There we go. The deal's complete. Okay, so things have slightly changed when it comes to running the exact same team. Dalibor Dvorsky, you're going to be coming back next season, but I have to wait till the salary cap goes up to re-sign you because I don't have enough money now. Kesselring, you're probably just going to be walking, and I'll bring in some other cheap defenseman that's going to be paid like $800K. And then Wallace, I'll do the exact same with you. I mean, I can just give Wallace this deal right here, $1.5 million for the next 2 years. And then when the salary cap goes up, hopefully that's going to be enough for Dalibor Dvorsky. So we're down to our final 2 seasons, and ideally this is the team you see for the next 2 years, barring maybe a couple changes on the 4th line. Like I'm talking 1 player. But Dalibor Dvorsky, I'm assuming we can re-sign you for next season. You're probably going to want the same amount of money you were asking for at the beginning of the season. We're going to find a way to make it work. When it comes to the defense, that's not going to be changing except for Kesselring. We'll bring in some other 78 overall defensemen and only pay him $800K. So it's basically the same difference. Dustin Wolf, you're the starting goaltender for the next 2 years. You've struggled a bit in the past 2 postseasons, but you know what? You're going to step it up this time around, and you're going to change things here. And we're going to go ahead and finish this rebuild off with 2 more Stanley Cups. So let's not mess around here. Simulate right to the end of the season and go get ourselves a Stanley Cup. Okay, for once, I really don't care about the record of this team. 53 wins got us 3rd in the entire league. Bloomquist, you were him this season. 102 points. Wow, that's pretty great. I wonder how many goals you picked up. Just 71. Bro picked up 71 goals this season just cuz. 71 goals, 31 helpers, 102 points. Michael Misa, 100 points here. Nah, this team was locked in. There's no way we're screwing this up. Dustin Wolf, you were great as well. 49 wins, 8 shots, a 906 and a 278. Yeah, this team's ready for a Stanley Cup. We're taking on the Ottawa Senators in the 1st round, and as long as there is no stupid collapse and Bloomquist continues to score goals here, we're going to be taking it home in 18 games max. So we have 2 more years to win 2 more Stanley Cups, and we got to lock in. It starts right now. We got to take down the Ottawa Senators. Let's do it in a sweep. We won the first 2 games, make that the first 3 games. A clean sweep over the Ottawa Senators, that's a great start. So with a clean sweep over the Ottawa Senators in the 1st round, we're moving on to the 2nd round where we get a rematch against the Detroit Red Wings. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what happened in our last matchup against the Detroit Red Wings because it's been a full day and I literally don't remember any of the matchups from yesterday. So I think we should just keep the winning streak going here and win another 4 straight games. It's not going to be 4 straight, but hey, a 3-1 series lead, I can live with that. So let's take out Detroit here and move on to the conference finals. Now things are about to get difficult for us because who do we have to match up against in the conference finals? It's not much of a surprise that we have to take on this team, the Columbus Blue Jackets. They just won 60 games. This is going to be by far our toughest matchup. So if we want to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets here, we have to be perfect, no messing up. Okay, things are not going well. Okay, Might as well just say this series is over. All right, so let's try to make a comeback here. Hansek's picking up the first goal. Marty Necas is going to pick up the second goal here. As long as we hold him down in the third period, we're going to be looking good. Bloomquist, you're picking up 2 goals here. A shutout's definitely something I'm looking for. All right, so we've won 1 game, but we have to win 3 in a row here. Marty Necas is going to pick up a goal in the first period. In the second period, it looks like the Columbus Blue Jackets are taking over, but we're keeping this a close game. The third period is going to decide this one, and in the third period, it's going to tell us that we need overtime. Nobody scored in the third period. Who's going to be winning the game? Marty Necas is. We're off to game 7. If we make a 3-1 series comeback, there's no doubt about it, we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup, and I think we're going to be able to do that. As long as we don't choke in the third period, we're going to be Stanley Cup champions. Wow, that was way too close. That should not have been as close as it was, but you know what? We're going to take it here. We're moving on to the Stanley Cup final, and who are we going to take on? The 52-win Vancouver Canucks. Now, Vancouver's a good team, but Columbus was clearly the best team in the entire league here, and now that we were able to beat them, I don't see us losing here, so we're going to take down the Vancouver Canucks. 3-1 once again. This team loves to be down 3-1, don't they? So we have to make the biggest comeback of all time here. And you know what? It's going to start right here. Dalibor, Dvorsky, and Robertson are both picking up goals in the first period. In the second period, you know what? Things completely changed for us, allowing 3 straight goals. So we got to make the comeback in the third here. And Hoglander's not going to allow that to happen. He's picking up another goal in this game. And we're losing in the Stanley Cup final 4-2. I'm sorry, but no way we make a 3-1 series comeback against the 60-win Columbus Blue Jackets, only to lose in 5 games to the Vancouver Canucks. And on top of that, I feel like our team actually played pretty good. Like, the forward core was looking solid. 26 points, 25 points, 25 points, 24. Okay, I'm assuming based on these numbers, our goaltending must have been atrocious because, yeah, we were scoring a ton of goals. But then looking at the goaltending numbers, Dustin Wolf, 13 wins, 3 shots, a 9-12 and a 281. That wasn't bad in the slightest. So I don't know what went wrong for this team. Clearly, the Vancouver Canucks were the best team. We have 1 more season to win a Stanley Cup. It's time to lock in. So I don't know if we're going to have enough money here. I don't know how we're going to do it, but Dalibor, Dvorsky, here's 6.3 for the next 5 years. I don't know what we're going to run for our defense here. We're definitely not going to be the greatest team, but we'll figure it out. So we were able to get ourselves 1 medium league potential goaltender. Now, though this guy's not going to develop for us, he is going to be a good trade asset. And you know what's better than 1 medium league potential goaltender? 2 medium league potential goaltenders. We're getting another one here. All right, so we're going to make 1 trade here, and then we're moving into next season. We just need a defenseman here. So one of our medium league potential players that's only a 70 overall, a medium league potential goaltender, a first and second rounder are off to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we're going to bring in this elite potential defenseman right here. He's going to play some third pairing minutes for us. I don't care what I have to give up here. We're ready to win a Stanley Cup. We're ready to get back. The Columbus Blue Jackets couldn't beat us last season. Now we're taking players away from them. We're getting past Vancouver in the Stanley Cup final next year. So here we go. It's the final season. Michael Misa, Marchenko, Bloomquist, Logan Stankoven, Dalibor, Dvorsky, and Marty Necas. The bottom 6 is the exact same. I mean, the forward core is the exact same. The only change was coming to the defense. We brought in this 83 overall defenseman, and I guess there is one change to the goaltending. We brought in a different backup, but that doesn't matter. Dustin Wolf's the starter. It's basically the exact same team as last season. We're just looking for a different result here. So the Tampa Bay Lightning were even better this season. First in the entire league in our final season, a 57-22-3 record. We're ready to win the Stanley Cup. As long as this team doesn't completely choke, we're going to be all right. Bloomquist, a massive fall for you. Only 65 goals. The King's wash. He's not that guy anymore. The forward core looks amazing, though. The goaltending's amazing. The save percentage is a bit of a concern. Like an 898 is not very good. But you know what? I know this team can win games. We were first in the entire league. Clearly, we can win games here. We're taking on the Islanders in the first round. We have a potential matchup against the Columbus Blue Jackets in the conference finals, and we could take Vancouver on in the Stanley Cup final. I would love to get some revenge, but we can't focus on revenge because we have to make sure that we can get through the first round, and we're taking on the Islanders first. Let's not choke this away. We're going to win game number 1. We got to win game 2. Okay, things are looking great for us. Ideally, we complete a sweep here. It's not going to be a sweep, but you know what? A 5-game series isn't the end of the world. So we took down the Islanders. We're moving on to the second round, but you know what? I'm focused on the conference finals right now. A matchup against the Columbus Blue Jackets would be historic, and a rematch against the Vancouver Canucks. Like, I'm looking forward to those 2 matchups. I'm not even caring what happens in the second round as long as we win. We do have to win. All right, so as I mentioned, I don't really care what happens in this matchup as long as we win here, and we are not winning so far. We split the series 2 games apiece. What's happening in game number 5? We got to be winning that one, and that's exactly what's happening here. Let's close it out in 6 games and move on to the conference finals. Why do we have to go to game 7? I hate going to game 7. You know what? I've been too focused on the conference finals and a rematch in the Stanley Cup final. Let's get by the Florida Panthers first. The Florida Panthers are picking up the first goal in this game. We're moving on to the second period, and you know what? We're going to tie it up. Bloomquist is picking up a hat trick in the second period. If we lose after Bloomquist picked up a hat trick, then it's absolutely rigged here. What's going to be happening in the third period? Okay, I'm very concerned. Somebody other than Bloomquist on the Tampa Bay Lightning score a goal when it matters. Ain't no way that just happened. Bloomquist, I'm sorry. Like, this man had 11 goals in 12 games, picked up a hat trick when it mattered most, had 6 assists, 17 points in 12 games. He was the only guy on this team that showed up when it mattered. No way we just lost in the second round. I was gassing this team up for a matchup in the Stanley Cup final against the Vancouver Canucks for us to get our revenge. Dustin Wolf, a 919 to 231. Dustin Wolf performed. Bloomquist performed. The rest of the team, a complete and utter joke. So the 10-year rebuild's complete. Here, it doesn't look like the Tampa Bay Lightning is going to be winning another Stanley Cup, and that's an absolute disappointment. One Stanley Cup in 10 years, when this team was so incredibly good, it's just so disappointing. Like, there's no reason we shouldn't have won multiple. The Columbus Blue Jackets Stanley Cup champs, you hate to see it.